It's Nancy. Welcome to Gardens Grove.
Mary, Mary, I can see how summer's heat and the enormity of the job at hand has labeled you quite contrary. So there are still 2 hot days, this one and tomorrow, left in our forecast, and then Monday it's supposed to go into the 80s for a while. Hopefully we won't go back up into the 90s. Although I hope we have some time when the weather is pleasant. I just hate to go to so cool we have to start wearing sweaters and jackets right away. I just want some really pleasing, pleasant weather for the garden for a while. The sedums are beginning to fluff out their pretty seed head tops. The celotias are going strong. The peaches are all gone. And the pears are getting ripe. I just finished watering. It's always good to have a task complete. There's so many tasks still left to go. Not today necessarily, but just in the garden. While we finish up the summer season and go into the fall season. This is called ironweed and it's looking pretty today. It's pretty purple color. I noticed my orange berry or firethorn bush is putting on its fall showing of the pretty orange berries. And I'm still quite sure that the garden is as ready or more ready than I am for a little cooler weather to be here. This is a chocolate plant. That's a June bug. But what it was on is this pretty white autumn clematis or clematis. There's some pretty periwinkle for you. Sometimes in this summer's heat it's hard to find a flower that's looking healthy and blooming pretty. And look at this up here. This is the last of my, or one of the last of my calabachoa or mini petunias. And you can tell it's on its way out. This little pot started out with calabachoa in it. And I've got mostly coleus clippings in it now, although this little piece right here still is a calabachoa, and this one. So hopefully there may even still be some pretty bloom in there for the fall, but if there is, it'll only be a little bit. I really want to learn to to grow those and have them pretty through the season, but they just may not work here in Oklahoma. This heat is just maybe more than they can handle. I tried them in the shade. Actually, these are in the shade some, and I don't know, I guess they maybe need more sun, but then they have to stay moist without being soggy, so that's a hard thing for Oklahoma heat. These pretty little orange impatiens are looking bright and pretty today. These tiny little pots I've had to change out. What I had in them didn't make it, so I can almost always depend on the coleus. They just seem to be the main thing that shines through in the Oklahoma heat in the garden to stay. Those in the periwinkles are just about the mainstay that you can really depend on. Of course, I try those others just because I like them so much, and they do have a pretty season for a short while, but mostly I am wanting to get things that last a lot longer, that last throughout the season. Actually, these elephant ears are looking good, I think. This pretty purple Plectranthus is also looking good, even in the hottest part of summer. Actually, that's when it really comes on and shines. That's when its bloom comes on. That pretty green is there all season. This is my copper plant. This, of course, is my Ceanothea angel wings, and it's got two little ones there that I'm going to try to start in little pots and see if I can get those to last through the winter. My Esperanza has not bloomed this whole season, so it may, once the weather gets cooler, it may put on some gorgeous blooms for us, or it may not. I'm just not sure. It won't be long now that we'll be bringing in the house plants like this one and that Esperanza that I just showed you. That'll have to come inside also. And my blue butterfly plant is blooming again today. I've got to get this in focus for you so you can see how pretty it really is. I just love it. And there's a few little sparse blooms here also. They look just like little butterflies in flight. I don't remember if I showed you that my candlestick plant or shrimp plant did bloom again. The one that something, I don't know what, took these all off. They broke them off like it might have been a bird or something. It just broke them off like if you or I would have broke them off. There's just no bloom on it. But they have come back and bloomed again for me. And this pretty little Cassandra has stayed in bloom for quite some time this summer, even in summer's heat. It's, of course, been under the shade here. And I put out another watermelon rind for the butterflies. So I've been thinking about designating just one certain day when I put on a post, but I am having a little bit of a struggle deciding to do that because I usually just wait until I feel some kind of inspiration, and that's lots of times that's easy because just like something like this pretty little pot of sedum can get me all excited. But because of the summer's heat and the struggle of going through all of it and just different things that happen in life itself, and sometimes it's just hard to find the wherewithal to do exactly what I want to do. So I kind of think I may just leave it as when I get that little spurt of inspiration and energy and want to go ahead, because so far it has been happening at least every week, and occasionally I'll put on a little post and then I'll realize I wanted to add to that and go ahead and put another one on right away. So I think I'm getting enough posts, but I am just learning this YouTube thing, so hopefully I'll get it figured out. And I have read that it's best to go ahead and make one designated day, so I may end up doing that at some point. This pretty little Laura Tall phlox is just hanging on. A little tiny bit of it will probably be left when the frost comes. There won't be much though. As you can see, it's already thinned out its blossoms quite a bit. This little sedum is looking good though. A great deal of my petunias just keep right on going through the summer, but as you can see, they're also going to seed, and as a lot of the stalks have totally fizzled out and I've already taken them out of the pots, but a lot of them are still going. I'm thinking that I may go ahead and take my petunias out of my seed box and go ahead and plant some seeds that need to be planted in the fall so they can get a cold period so they'll bloom next season. So that may be one thing I'll do. When it gets a little bit cooler. There will be so many things to do then. We'll never be able to get it all done before the frost comes, but at least we'll get the biggest portion of it done. We'll be busy, but we'll have a goal. The mums will soon be blooming and they'll have their color going, and that'll be a whole new showing for you too that I'll probably be excited to show you. But you can see little tiny buds are beginning to open on these, and it won't be long till they're just all open and just color galore. So the garden is getting visited by frogs and toads and turtles, and I saw a horny toad the other day, but I didn't get its picture for you. So I think I'm going to bid you good night with this, and please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you later. Well, I'm back one more time to reiterate that It's easy to see this time of year why the little Mary in the nursery rhyme, look at this, all wilted down. I've got to get out here and water, and I watered yesterday. It's about to give up. Look, things are just about to give up. I'm about to give up, and guess what news I got? We're not going to be in the 80s tomorrow at all. It's going to be around 94, and another at least 9 days from the report I heard of the heat again. So I've got to get busy and hopefully get these little plants to perk back up. But yes, it's definitely easy to see why Mary was quite contrary, because it's easy to get that way in this heat, and when the job is just never quite enough to get, no matter what you do, to get the job done. And it just seems to come right back again and be hot and wilted, and you can't even tell that you watered. So that's a sad little situation. But, you know, we'll buckle down and we'll do what we can to keep it going. And we'll enjoy the part that does make it through. And we'll know that that's just life. Sometimes that's just the way life goes. And it'll all be gone before terribly long. Oh, look, this little sedum is blooming. It's trying to bloom anyway. It won't be long. It's got little tiny blooms on it. So there you go. You get a few good surprises right in there with all the rest. But yes, I've got to get busy again and get some of this taken care of. And right in the midst of everything laying over and giving up the ghost for the summer, this beautiful hibiscus is blooming. When we came back from church today, I noticed this little bloom was looking pretty. It's kind of wilted down too, but it was pretty this morning. So on that note, again, I'll leave you and hope that fall is soon here for you, and that you get to enjoy some beautiful days before long, and that, you know, we'll make it through the hot ones, hopefully.